if you watch my daily videos, I have gone hard the last week with this whole you pudding guy, okay? The player who has created this interesting strategy with Sicilians, but then inspired a player who is around 1300 rank to get all the way to 2K by going for a more extreme version of the strategy. So if you're coming into this seeing the title, which is craziest game of 2023, you might want that context. At least watching part 3 would give you that context. But anyways, friends, I did not expect this to happen. I literally spent the afternoon recording part 2, part 3, figured we'd space it out a couple days, and we'd move into other content. Then I wake up with a message from Beery, and then a message from our blue player here, White Phosphor, okay? So, the thing is, Beery is probably the most aggressive player at a high level there is. He loves his Mongols. He'll go for forward in most cases. And basically, you know, it's really hard to stop, and he's killed me many times and killed many players many times. It's all aggression, non-stop and feudal. If he doesn't kill you then, he's going to find a way in castle, okay? Really fun player to watch. And he's just the perfect player up against this strat, because in the blue then, we've got White Phosphoru, and White Phosphoru is playing as the Sicilians and is going to try a strat that pretty much just introduced this week, and it's all in its own unique way. It revolves around the Sicilians, and the Sicilians can make a donjon. The donjon is their tower-like building that can then make their unique unit. But what makes it strong is that when you make it to Castle Age, the unique unit gets a stat increase. And so basically, blue is going to sacrifice everything to get to Castle Age and make those sergeants. And the sergeants are very hard for feudal age units to kill. If you're in Castle Age at 13.5 minutes, you're going to be able to kill your opponent's villagers. You're going to be able to kill your opponent's archers, scouts, whatever, okay? Now, this is where it's fun, guys. When Beery messaged me, Beery thought this was you pudding. So, for those that watched the other videos, I think you might appreciate that. Beery, when he messaged me, said, hey, I had this game against you pudding. It's amazing. He sent me the rec, and the title of the rec was like, Beery versus you pudding, 2 legends. He tried to give me my YouTube title. Beery wants a legend video. I don't have... he's on my list of legends. I haven't quite found the perfect game to encapsulate Beery yet. Maybe this is technically it, but I think this is the wildest game of 2023. I've seen a lot of wild games. And listen, it's really hard to just say there's one, right? We've had some great games this year. But considering the previous 2 years, I've had a best game. And they were just bonkers off the wall. I think this is really it, which is why I'm rolling with the title I am. Now, guys, all the suggestions that people gave on the Reddit posts about this White Phosphor guy were like tons and tons of feudal age aggression, okay? Or like maybe go Castle Age, right? Those are a lot of the suggestions. My feeling is no matter how much you do in feudal age, you are going to struggle against this push. If you're even rank, you're going to struggle. Now, at the time, you can see their ranks. Beery's 200 elo higher. But for even greater perspective, like Beery's been 2400 before. But, you know, he hasn't been playing as actively, maybe not quite as sharp. But there should be like a 400 or 500 elo difference between these two players. And blue's going to do the same old freaking thing that I showed you in those other videos. So it's 21 pop to feudal with no loom. I think no loom is just ridiculously risky because players are going to attack you, you know. The other thing that's interesting is it's not just no loom, but it's like no walls. Like no little tiny walls at all. If you haven't picked up on it yet, this guy doesn't have a lumber camp. He does not build a lumber camp, and he's almost 2K rank, top 1,000, well into the top 1,000 being 2K, in Age of Empires 2. So you make the mill, you make the mining camp, and blue just sits here. Every game, doesn't scout the opponent, too risky to do so. What is Beery doing? Beery's on the prowl, guys. Beery's got militia coming forward. Beery's got villagers coming forward, and Beery's ready to kill. And this is what Beery's known for. So if you want aggression against this strategy, you're going to get it. I don't know if blue knows Beery's reputation, because blue doesn't normally play a player like Beery at the current rank, but also because blue is only at this rank because of this strategy. This might be the first time they've ever played each other. Beery certainly thought that this player was a U-Pudding smurf. U-Pudding was merely the inspiration for it. Okay, so Beery sees this. He probably knew the strat, though, Beery. If he knew U-Pudding. Knew enough to say it was that guy. And just like that, there's not even a single palisade wall, no loom. And Beery punishes it, as you would expect a high-level player to do. I think the whole queuing loom thing after Feudal Age is kind of a mistake. But hey, villagers down. This is a rough start, right? We've got archers as a follow-up. We're not even at 10 minutes yet. This is all in aggression here from Beery. And Beery's like, I know you need this gold for this strategy. So I'm going to just attack the gold. And I'm going to wait for you. And I'm going to have an archer. And we're going to attack some more. I'm going to kill your stuff. Blue's not a high-ranked player with crazy micro, right? This is all about the strategy. Beery's got the micro. Beery kills that villager. That was very impressive. And obviously, times are messy for Blue at the moment, who still hasn't left his base. Tries to build that dungeon now. 18 villagers for Blue. 3 villagers behind right now. Man-at-Arms and archers are attacking. Blue's pulled the weak villagers away. Just good. Kind of fought off with Vills as well. With enough Vills, you're going to fight off the Man-at-Arms. And Blue does a good job here. And this is probably going to complete here. But before it does, Beery wants another kill. Beery kills the 3rd villager. So Blue's had massive amounts of idle time. Was pulled completely off the gold. 3 villagers killed. 17 villagers. Okay? 17 vills. This player never makes more of them. Well, not never, but the plan is not to make more of them. Now, we're going to see White Phosphor here go try and find the enemy for the first time this game, because the goal is to go kill the enemy as quickly as possible, all right? We have the first sergeant on the way. This Castle Age time is still ridiculous. Beery's looking for damage. Beery can't necessarily find damage. And then the sergeant shows up, and Beery thinks he has to run away. Now, we're going to see more and more archers from Beery. You could see some paranoia here from him. You see how he went over to save the Vills. But I think he's thinking this guy's whole strategy relies on buying food at the market. So let's just attack the market. And Blue now makes a lumber camp, which is standard to the build. You just have wood, gold, you buy all the food, okay? This is what Blue can see. Has done a full run around to Beery's base, and we have 1 sergeant headed forward. Beery is not going to allow this guy to rest, though, right? Like, Beery's here to kill again. So is attacking the market, but also pressuring this wood line, and is going to tower this to deny the gold. It makes sense. Beery's got an 11 villager lead. Just deny the gold. This should be a victory. There's 2 sergeants on the map, but now their stats go up because he's going to be in Castle Age. So there's that sergeant. Tanky, 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 tanky. There's another sergeant, also tanky. Here, Beery was fighting this off. 1 villager dead. We're going to see another villager go down. Now, the reason for that is because Beery's looking here, and Beery's trying to keep the archers alive. I'd seen suggestions on that Reddit thread I mentioned in other videos about archers. Just get enough archers. Just hit and run with archers. Well, you see how much you're going to have to run. Beery ends up losing all these villagers. So now the Eco KD is 5-3. Blue actually killed 5 vills. And the sergeants are proven to be pretty difficult to stop right now. Beery is forever feudal because of this aggression. The man-at-arms, the fletching, the archers. It's been a ridiculous game, and we're just getting started, folks. We're just getting started. This unit is just so good against Feudal Age units at this time. I thought the market was going to go down when I first watched this. That's what I had done to him, as I just destroyed the market first thing. Sergeant gets microed away. Blue, he doesn't look at his eco much, so he has time to micro. But yeah, the market actually stays up, which means that Blue's still kicking here. And more sergeants are headed forward, and there's a villager headed forward as well. And Blue's going to be thinking about siege. Now, army for Beery, 7 archers right now. And Beery's still, like, trying all the time. Like, on the prowl. Okay, now the archer mass is looking pretty decent, right? Hitting and running. It still takes so many shots, but gets a kill. Every kill is so valuable here. Can't be on the berries. Doesn't have any real defense against the action at home. But Beery is an aggressive player, and Beery loses an archer. But is still trying to micro with the archers against the sergeants. It's going to get another kill here. Just 16 villagers now for blue. 2 sergeants are here. Beery's going to have to get army home. But also, if you get army home, you're not being aggressive. It's kind of a tough thing to decide on, what to do right now. Villagers are potentially going to be attacked. There's now more sergeants here. I mean, what do you do? Which one do you micro? Which do you focus on? Blue's running around with this. Blue's chasing with this. Beery's making double archers on the front now. Good luck, adding farms or balancing your eco at all. And Beery doesn't know there's a siege workshop right on his face right now. Blue's micro's really good. Sergeants go into the wood line. Here, Beery's been microing. Here, Beery's going to get another kill. I mean, Beery's micro is good as well. It's just it's really just the timing. And this push just takes so much focus away from eco balance. And it's now, if you look at the eco KD, I mean, blue has killed more. And blue's still just churning out sergeant after sergeant after sergeant. There's now a mangonel here, which can kill even more villagers. So this is not great for Beery. And blue is, obviously comes in here as a massive underdogs in a great position. So, I mean, at this point, there's 11 villagers garrisoned inside of this TC. Those villagers are not bringing in any resources. This is your food eco. And Beery's like, he's experienced against low eco pushes. He will know that his opponent doesn't have good economy. So what he does is he continues to try and be aggressive. But he has to find creative ways to keep himself safe at home. But the key here for Beery to have any chance is still be aggressive. Yes, it's bad at your base. But you've got enough archers now. He's truly got that archer mass where he could maybe deal with this each and every time. Drop the tower on his gold. All over the berries there for food. Blue, however, has brought home a scorpion. And that mangonel is going to focus primarily on that TC potentially. Let's see. Scorpion gets a big hit. Lots of archers are weak. And now you're like, are you kidding me? He's got a scorpion at home now too? What is this crap? Blue, don't kill your own unit. Oh, God, called it. Okay, well, that was a little embarrassing. 23 population, 22 minutes into the game for blue. Beery's at 49 population. Obviously, the population's looking fantastic. But the TC is starting to get siege down. Also, love how blue's just like, I'm not going to use my scout. You're not even going to put it on auto scout? You have so few units, it just leaves the scout there. So Beery feels as though he can't do damage anywhere of value. That's what's so tough about this. It's like, you can't hit the gold, you can't hit the wood because the scorpion's there. So, I think the only thing he could do is use the archers against the market. Which seems ridiculous because it takes so long, but I think that's maybe your best play. Now, I love this decision from Beery, and this is his experience under this type of pressure. He says, you know what? Screw it. I've got vills to throw away. I need to make this messy. We need to go for it. And we see Beery send half of his economy rushing in here towards the siege and the sergeants. Not advisable if you like these villagers. But he just wants to keep his TC up to buy himself a little bit more time. He's like, maybe if I can kill this, I could still have the greater economy. Now, over here, he lost half his archers to the scorpion. Over here, he's on the wood line. But here, he's losing villagers, folks. But he wants to take out the siege. And the siege he will take out. Not all of it, unfortunately for him. That was just one shot from going down. But now he's down to 23 villagers. So I think of all the options that Beery had in that moment, I think sending 15 villagers against the siege was probably not the play. I think you do that in combination with army, maybe. But that probably wasn't it. Beery micros away now. I want to show you resources collected. Beery's collected way more, but obviously doesn't have the gold income. And now even the starting scouts here go into town against a villager. And Beery could lose that if he's not careful. Okay, so Beery's going to drop a market. And Beery's about to lose the starting TC. 25 minutes in. Okay? Beery's lost 27 vills. This is the base at home for blue. Guys, I'm telling you, the fact that this type of a game is happening is going to inspire more people to try it. I think the devs are going to have a nightmare on their hands trying to figure out what to do with the Sicilians. I really do. Blue, don't kill your own unit. Stop it. He keeps doing that. And Blue notices that Beery's running away right now. So Beery's like, I can't stay here anymore. And actually kills the scout as well. So many players would quit. So many players would quit. Beery's like, no. I can do this. I got this. I could do this. And knowing Beery, he's got like certain level of respect. He's like, oh my god, this is insane. But Blue sees there's a stable there. So Blue knows like scouts could be coming out. And this is what I mentioned earlier. You bring the villagers now to help. And you bring the archers too. You kind of work everything into this. Blue a little distracted. And the scorpions are going to go down. The mangonel goes down. And yeah, Beery's lost like 30 villagers now in this game. But Beery has 21. And Blue has 16. And Beery has more army at the moment. So that's fantastic. Now look at this sergeant. This sergeant is looking for Beery's new base. That sergeant, if that sergeant would have found this, honestly, Beery would lose maybe the whole wood line. It'd be a really big deal. So Blue is desperate to find that. But like, what is this game? This game is ridiculous. This game is insane. And we're far from finished, folks. 0 on food for both of them. Blue is... You know, the price of food has gotten more and more expensive here. But Blue hasn't really spent that much food... spent that much gold on buying food, in all honesty. The Siege Edition is really what did the most damage. Sergeant's still looking around. Blue's like, I know you're probably over here. And this is the only other military unit checking the wood line. And Beery, of course, sees it. Beery's still got archers on the front. And Beery's looking to check. Is there still a scorpion there? Okay, there is. Beery's got to figure out a way to get some counter damage in, perhaps. We do have a new TC for Beery. Blue Sergeant is going to find this. So, interesting timing on finding this. Beery notices he's been spotted. And here notices he's run into the Sergeant. And Beery's slowly taking down the Siege Workshop. But guys, there's 5 Scorpions in there. Soon about to be 6. That's a lot of Scorpions. Scorpions do a pretty good job against Scouts. If the Scouts have Bloodlines and they have more HP, maybe an armor and attack upgrade too, so full upgrades, then it'd be different. But okay, Blue hops out with the Scorpions. Now, Beery doesn't know how many were in there, okay? But Beery knows that there's that Scorpion here. It's that specific. That's the type of game we have here. And so he's looking, and he's still trying to think, like, okay, can I do this here? He's not taking any damage right now. Now, Blue knows that the opponent is over here now, and he's going to try... Here, sorry, I missed this part. It's kind of important. Blue noticed that and said, I want to siege that down too. So starts to send a vill. Now, as Blue starts to send a villager, the archers from Beery are going to spot this. Like, he's so quick to react. And now that vill's dead. So that's a vill dead. Now, look at the Scorpion Sergeant train, though. Head over there. It's like a zombie horde. Just rolling over there. To which there's nothing to defend it. So, if anything, if Beery knows that, he's under more pressure to try and do damage here now more than ever. Because it's not going to be good for his new eco. Now, Blue sees this and is ready to repair the Scorpion. And obviously, you do have the Donjon here to help as well with the fire, but the Scorpion goes down. And that's enough now for Beery to be able to sit on the wood. So, it's looking good for Beery, right? It's looking really good for him. Well, I don't know. The TC's starting to go down. So I think Beery looks at the HP on this market and is like, I'm going to freaking take this thing out finally. This has been a pain in my neck I'm going to take this out. And actually, losing the market's a pretty big deal, like I've established before. Like, blue really needs that market to balance the eco. And blue doesn't have wood income. It would help if blue remembered the Siege Workshop Foundation was here and deleted that. That's 200 wood, but... Beery's TC is dying to Scorpions. Beery's got 22 vills, but there's 6 villagers here, and then there's 4 inside the TC. Beery will have fewer villagers. He'll have less villagers if he loses this. Beery's looking around. He's still like, what more can I do? I've taken out his market. Where else can I go? And there's 3 sergeants defending here, which should do a decent job against this amount of scouts and archers. Blue does delete that Siege Workshop Foundation. I wonder if it makes sense for blue to make a Siege Workshop Foundation at home. Market. Oh, yeah, of course. You need a new market. Yeah, well, that makes no sense. This is blue's point of view. This is a real game. That's actually just happened. And it's just ridiculous. Like, it is absolutely insane. This all-in strategy. Beery lost his base, but, I mean, he still has gold, and he's been able to preserve the farm, so that's good. And so now he gets the food income to get bloodlines on those scouts. I mean, he has truly been everywhere, Beery, with those scouts. He's still looking. He's maybe thinking that blue will eventually run out of gold. I could see him thinking about that, so he knows that gold's here and gold's here. His scouts now will have 65 HP. Now, a lot of these are weak. Like, 3 of them are weak from before, so it's not the strongest scout group. Really important for blue to pay attention. Now, blue's heading forward with the sergeants to protect this. But Beery, you see him bringing the vills again. Now, this is because Beery's attacking elsewhere, and blue just not quite as quick as a player. Blue reacts when half the scorpions have already gone down. It was an amazing move here from Beery to send his eco again, but also have the simultaneous attack elsewhere to distract blue. And so the TC is going to stay up, and the villagers will be protected. Having said that, it's still 20 villagers versus 17. So, yeah. I mean, that part's not great. You see, both players just go into their market all the time. Prices are getting pretty ridiculous right now. And blue coming over here now with the new sergeants and has purchased the stone to drop another donjon, which can just produce more sergeants. And I think Beery's thinking of engaging there. I don't think that this would be a good engagement for him. I think 4 sergeants, it's been a long time since we've seen 4 grouped up. Maybe if he had all these archers that are now coming over, but with the 2 archers and the scouts, it wouldn't work. So yeah, now your TC's up, but you just lose 2 villagers to the arrow fire. And, like, the TCs could just get taken out by the sergeants. So, like, what next? Right? What next? Well, blue knows, well, he's going to bring the scouts and kill my scorpion. He did it last time. So because he did it last time, I'm going to wall this in this time. Because I'm brilliant like that. And what is Beery going to do? Well, Beery he knows he's probably going to take damage here. He's also running with these vills to go somewhere. He's going to take gold here. At the opponent's base. But yeah. Here comes Beery with the scouts. And Beery's probably like, well, dang it. He learned. It's so fascinating. But it's like, it's still so cool because we see so many interesting little counterplays. Like, this TC's been surrounded now with double donjon. The TC will eventually get shot down. Villagers will eventually be exposed. But yeah, you see Beery, he's trying to kill the vills anyways and dodge the scorpion shots. And then blue micros the vills quite nicely there. So it's good all-around play. Look at Beery's scouting at the moment. He parked a unit there. He's got his own villagers here. He has vision on that gold. He knows eventually blue will just straight up run out of that gold. That's the thinking. Blue knows that eventually this TC is going to go down and villagers can be killed. And I'm sure blue also thinking, like, where can I go next? Is going to heal up that sergeant inside of the donjon so it becomes whole again. It was Beery actually sniped. Sorry, let me just show you. There's so many things happening. Beery saw the one vill was weak and sniped it with 1 archer, which is really good play. Tries to get the next one. He's just out-microing a scorpion. And I think blues just realized Beery doesn't actually have much here. It must all be back at home still. It must be underneath that gold, right? So there go the sergeants. on the way. Beery buys some stone, is mining stone somewhere. I don't even know where. Sorry, there's just so many different things to talk about. Blue sees this, sees the villager on the farm. I think that's the only farmer right now for Beery. But this is going to be a tower right beyond this woodline, which is going to be impossible for Blue to deal with. Could lead to some villagers going down. Here goes Blue starting to take some stone, but the archer's going to spot that and weaken the villagers. And now the sergeants are attacking this tower. Beery's got no wood income, by the way. 0 on wood. So he buys the stone to build a tower, and he's like, crap, I don't have the wood. And then he buys the wood so he can make another tower just to hold on to that. This tower went up. Blue's now down to 15 villagers. That tower is a really nice move from Beery. But scorpions have shown up, sergeants have shown up, and it's just awkward times as Beery realizes, I really need the double tower stack to work. I don't know if the double tower stack will work, and Beery will have to completely vacate his base here, it feels like. The tower will go down, potentially. Blue kind of spreading out, chasing the vills. The weakness of the sergeants is that they're slow. By the way, Archer was killed by the villagers here, and there's a new dungeon there to protect the stone. And villagers going to fight just like their forefathers have done up against scorpions. They probably heard all about that in school. And, well, they killed the scorpions as well. And one of them lives to tell the tale. Beery's TC, I don't even know if he looks over here anymore, but that's slowly being shot down. There's sergeants inside the dungeons healing up. Beery able to somehow preserve some villagers here to drop another tower. Actually, the villagers building this tower are the villagers that were hiding in this tower. There's literally just going to be 3 villagers here. Beery has 16 villagers. We're 14 minutes into the game. But he's got a pretty high army count. And it's reached a point where Blue's really struggling to get numbers. Yeah, the sergeants are so good. Like, that is 2 weak units getting kills here. The sergeants are so good. But the combination of Scout and Archer is enough for Beery in these fights. So, you know, Blue has been extremely resourceful here, right? Like, Blue got towered off of this wood. What did Blue do? Well, went to the stone, and now is got wood here as well. Is selling stone now to get gold instead of having a lot on gold because there's only 300 gold left on that tile. So, really smart thinking. What Blue doesn't know is that Beery has villagers here. If Blue would have found this, I think it would have been tough for Beery while Beery was over here. Still feels like I'm pretty sure from Blue's point of view, he might know that a few villagers ran away because he saw them around the town center at one point. But he can't see where they're running, and he probably feels like this is the crucial area to focus more than anything. It's funny, right? Like, Blue has seen everything at Beery's base. He's been everywhere. He's even found the new TC. The last place Blue is expecting Beery to be is behind his own base. And he also didn't scout that gold. This is the first time Beery finds there's a dungeon there. Here come the sergeants again. And the double tower does, like, just enough, in my opinion. It does just enough to deter it at this point. He's got 18 archers. He's really got to avoid dungeon fire, though, and avoid scorpions. And it's kind of hard to find a spot to attack right now for both of them, as Beery's buying stone now. And he wants to deny this wood line because he just noticed, like, oh, he's taking wood there. I've got to deny that. Blue's still looking for damage. It's a ghost town in both villages here. Blue's hoping to protect this. It's such a close game in terms of score. KD for Blue, obviously insane. He's killed 43 eco this game, and I don't think Beery's made many mistakes. Seriously, don't. Like, if you say his eco needed to be better, it's because, well, his eco wasn't because of the amount of pressure he had. Right? You don't get the amount of pressure he had with a better economy. You just don't. Now, I think that one instance where he sacrificed 12 villagers versus the initial Scorpions and Mangonels, that was a bit rough. That could have been better timed. But beyond that, this has just been a freaking dogfight. This game's insane, and it can still go either way because Blue's building up a big, massive Scorpions, and Blue can build up more Sergeants, too. Like, 5 or 6 sergeants with scorpions? There's no way you kill that right now if you're Beery. You don't have the scouts. The scouts were the key against the siege. Archers aren't going to handle the scorpions. So Blue says, fine, I'm not going to take this. And Beery's like, well, what are you doing then? Like, Beery's got to be so confused. He's like, where are you getting wood? How is this happening? And, well, he's been spotted. He's been spotted. There's your answer, Beery. Blue snuck over there to take wood. Scorpions have taken out one of the towers now. And the sergeants are here to protect. Beery's fiery stable is going to, make a few more scouts. Beery's just camping he's had to camp everything, it feels like. Camping all the trees now, though. And he seems to know that Blue is mainly here. Now, guys, this is where I get real pumped. Because there's another bonus about the Sicilians that you need to know about, in case you didn't already. And that's the fact that their villagers build castles 50%. Or is it 100? Shoot, I think they changed it at one point. Anyways, their villagers build castles very quickly, okay? And there is an issue right now for Blue, where Blue lacks two resources of importance. Blue lacks wood, and Blue lacks gold. And there's no gold here anymore, and Blue doesn't know about this gold. So where do you think Blue's gonna go? He's gonna go right there if he's desperate for wood. And that's where Beery's dropped the TC. Because that's also makes sense for him. Because he can't go here. That'd be crazy. There's a siege workshop. And then over here, he's just got attacked. And then you forget about that. Yeah. So, buckle up. Okay? Buckle up. We've got 19 villagers for Beery. We've got 18 for Blue. He's got only stone. This is Blue's point of view. Obviously, Blue does not know that the TC is there. That just adds to the drama of the situation. Blue may recognize that the market is really important to Beery's strategy too, and is going to sit here for now and take that out. This game can be decided by if this castle goes up and where it goes up. And Beery's still camping the wood. And I think Blue wanted that wood so badly and just realized, do I really have to do this? Yes, I do. And Beery sees these villagers. Now, that's all the villagers. So Beery knows something's up now. And those villagers need to make a run for it here. Blue, you got to drop this castle. You got to go for it. Now, look at Beery's point of view. He sees this. He says, oh, castle foundation coming. How do I stop that? Little palisades, little walls, little gates, block the foundation. And Blue's like, no, I can't build my castle there anymore. And Blue has to bail. There's scouts on the way. And Blue... The castle position has now been blocked by some creativity from Beery. And that position is so important. So now, this is Blue's whole economy, right? 15 villas in the TC, 2 underneath it that don't have room. They're looking, and I don't know, could Beery... Yeah, I think Beery even knows that that is where the villagers all must be, right? It's kind of funny that you could see the 2 villas underneath from Beery's perspective. Blue's now desperate. Now, he's taken out the market. He's still coming home. But he needs resources right now. I think if he knew that there was a gold here, he might have considered just like a castle here or something. But even that wouldn't have protected the gold. What a crazy scenario. Just one on food for Beery. And Blue's just waiting now. Blue's like, okay, well, I gotta be patient because I couldn't get the castle down there. I have to wait for my army. And then we go. Then we give it a shot. Town watch for Beery, which is so helpful. It's actually really expensive because Beery wants to know where the army's coming from. And now Beery's going to find out. I think this is too much to deal with right now if you're Beery. Like, essentially what he has to do is he has to either fight with Vills again or he has to do a runner where he uses the scouts and runs the opposite direction. But, like, this is rough. Like, he could absolutely lose this TC. As ridiculous as it is, Beery's got to make a market here. Does Beery have a blacksmith? I don't even know. He does. Okay, so he is going to try and maybe buy food here to get more upgrades on those scouts or make more scouts. And here goes Blue. Blue's like, I've got an opportunity to get wood again. And Blue now runs this way to drop a castle. And this castle is going to protect that wood line. Beery buys food, is going to make more scouts. One of the Scorpions, one of the 5 Scorpions does go down to the TC fire. But Beery's starting to lose this TC. We're 58 minutes into this game. We've got 22 pop for blue. It's 50 population for Beery. And now Beery's going to try and make a move here. And I think this is just like earlier in the game where Beery realizes that his opponent's distracted. I think it was because blue was doing this. And this is, honestly, I think it comes down to the fact blue is not a 2K plus player. He's low speed player who just chooses this crazy strat. And there've been glimpses where we've seen the difference in skill and speed, right? And now, blue has 15 villagers, nothing else, no access to gold anymore. Because he mined all of this one. Beery's mined all of this one. Beery has TC'd this one. Blue's going to try. Like, maybe Blue's like, if I can get this gold, we can start this all over again. But Beery is waiting with that archer. And Beery can kill all of these villagers. There's no sergeant to protect. You need to buy the food. You don't have the gold for it. And Beery has maybe officially done this, guys. After an hour-long slog. Now, Beery's, when he messaged me, said, I just faced you pudding. This is not you pudding. This is a 1300 elo player who's just taken you pudding strategy to another level and almost beat a player like Beery. This strat's insane. And blue is really good at it too, right? Like, blue is really good at it. Anyways, the GG is called as blue realizes, man, this is it for me. Ridiculous game. Like, this whole game was nuts. Beery lost 44 villagers. He never had over 30 at a certain point. Both players were below 20 villagers for more than half the game. Beery lost his TC here, lost his TC here, then ended up town centering here, had to block a castle with a gate, otherwise he might have been dead. We have random towers, we've got random outposts, bases, dungeons, like the whole game's completely random. And it was a masterpiece. And I'm going to be honest with you, though, guys. I think the ending chapter of this game could still have been played out in a different manner. Beery saved the game when he blocked the castle, but I want to look at that again. So obviously this is everything to blue, right? But I think the biggest thing is it's not just getting a castle that protects wood. It's you need gold. So, like, this castle, had he just placed it here, he probably starts to build it. I think he probably completes it. Let's say he loses like 7 vills. Well, then the castle goes up. The TC goes down for Beery. Actually, no, I take it back. If he castles here, it wouldn't work. But okay, I'm wondering what's I've been thinking about this. I wonder what happens if right when it gets blocked, he just drops it here. At that point, archers would have been on the way. Scouts would have looped around. I think the castle completes. And then Beery loses another TC, and then Beery needs to relocate. And then I'm wondering, can Beery get gold beyond this gold? Does this gold run out, and then blue has this? I don't know. I think it's safe to say Beery would have probably still had the win. But if the castle goes up, that would have been pretty ridiculous. I think, actually, it's wild, but I think blue's original castle spot all revolved around getting wood and gold because it was placed there, which would allow a lumber camp and a mining camp. Because if it's any further away, then he just gets his wood towered again. Wow, what a game. So let me know what you thought about that one. That was pure and utter chaos, man. Like, it was so cool. And it's so interesting how the timing played out on this. Because I don't interact with Beery that much, but I always tell him, hey, if you play a crazy game, let me know, right? The day before, I fully investigated the white phosphor guy, made part 3 of the Legend of You Pudding, which showed him, because it was a You Pudding inspired strategy. I also talked to white phosphor. Then I wake up and I have a message from both of them, like, hey, this is definitely like the best game that has ever happened with this strat. That's what Blue said, and then Beery was like, he titled it Legend of Beery versus Legend of You Pudding. Well, Beery, you might not have the Legend of Beery yet, but with the way you play the game, it'll happen at some point, my friend. Great game. I'm just enjoying this mill. But I guess we've got to sum up the game. Let's look at the stats. Beery collected more wood, more food, more gold, like way more resources. But it's just the value that the sergeants and the scorpions get because it's Castle Age versus Feudal Age. The KD obviously there. Well, how many units were created? So blue never created over 23 scorpions. I wonder how many sergeants were created in this game. It didn't feel like it was that many. I guess the KD could maybe tell the story. Someone could do the math in the comments for me. Because he lost 15 eco. No, I got this. We're going to do this together. That takes him down to 43 deaths that were things other than Vils, right? And then 23 scorpions you subtract from that. I think the logic is sound here. So that takes down to 20. Would have been 20 sergeants. So 20 sergeants, 23 scorpions. Here he had 39 archers, and I'm sure we could figure that out with the scouts. But anyways, as we continue on, again, there's the eco. There's the technology tab. They didn't research many technologies at all. It's just that 14-minute castle age, just so insane. And then there's the APM if you want to see their speed. But guys, listen. You cannot convince me, okay, that it is a user error, that it is a skill error if you are losing to this strategy right now. It's a really good strategy. Yes, it's all in. Yes, some people find it gimmicky. Some people don't like it because it's not strategic and you don't play out into the late game. Sure, I get that. You don't have to like it. But this narrative that like, oh, just pressure the gold quickly and just make lots of archers just to make lots of scouts. Come on. That narrative, completely shot, in my opinion. Like, Beery is one of the most aggressive players. He killed 3 villagers on that gold. And this still all happened anyways. This is insane. And I'm a little worried. Because I think 700 elo, 800 elo players, I think they're going to be like, oh, I can go up 500 elo with this. Let's give it a shot. And then if everyone's doing it, it might be a mess for the devs. That's all I'm saying. But hey, it's merely my job to talk about it. I don't know what's going to happen from here. But please let me know if you watch this game. Because this goes up there or down there or in there as one of the best games I've seen in a long time. And certainly one of the crazier ones. As always, thanks for the support and thanks for watching. I love to cast this game and I love games like this. I always have my eye out for more and more content every day, all right? I'm not going anywhere. Hope to see you all next time.